I accidentally discovered the secret of the cultivation world. I unintentionally stumbled upon the secret of this cultivation world. The senior sister I was preparing to torment turned out to be the heroine, protagonist, of this world. To save my own skin, the first thing I did was not to bully her, but to hand over my precious golden elixir. From now on, you have me. I won't let anyone bully you. Lu Ruyan is the eldest senior sister of the Xiaoyao sect, once deeply favored by the sect leader. She had many admirers, but alas, she severed all romantic ties to focus solely on cultivation. She was extremely cold to those around her, so her popularity was actually quite poor. 3 months ago, Liu Ruyan was ordered to go to a secret realm for training. For some unknown reason, she strayed into a dangerous path, was eroded by demonic qi, and her spirit root was destroyed. She could no longer cultivate. Since then, Liu Ruyan shut herself away. It is said that the sect leader was heartbroken and sighed for a long time. Unexpectedly, when Liu Ruyan appeared again, she was about to be kicked out of the Xiaoyao sect. She wore rough linen clothes and carried only a small bundle, looking incredibly destitute. Now that Liu Ruyan had fallen into the mud, and everyone was kicking her while she was down, I felt unhappy if I didn't take the opportunity to step on her a few times. I walked slowly in front of Liu Ruyan and chuckled mockingly. Oh my! Isn't this the eldest senior sister? How did you end up like this? Such a deep scar. Based on my years of medical study, I'm afraid it's incurable. What a pity. Liu Ruyan, who originally looked indifferent, suddenly raised her head, her eyes full of resentment. Even though her face was covered by a long scar, one could still glimpse a trace of her former clear beauty. While I was secretly gloating, the onlooker stepped forward to fan the flames. Ji Chen, back then, Liu Ruyan looked down on you, but now she is unworthy of you. You absolutely cannot be soft-hearted. Exactly. Just think about how she embarrassed you back then. You should take revenge on her now. I twitched my lips and took out a box from my sleeve. Inside was my family's ancestral life-saving pill. Perhaps it would be effective for Liu Ruyan's damaged spirit root. However, it was impossible for me to give it to her. I wanted to toy with her and make her watch her hope be destroyed with her own eyes. Just as I was about to speak, I suddenly felt dizzy. I staggered a few steps, and a flood of unfamiliar memories swept over me. Only then did I realize that the world I lived in was actually a book, and I was the villainous side character. This is a female-led cultivation novel. The heroine, Liu Ruyan, is naturally gifted. This cultivation prodigy is strict with others and herself, but she secretly has a crush on her junior martial uncle, Ye Haoran, who wanders the world all year round. Because her heart belongs to someone else, she treats everyone else's advances with coldness. Later in the book, Liu Ruyan was expelled from the sect. As the villainous side character, I held a grudge and humiliated her to the extreme, even forcing her to dance before me in disarray, until, by a stroke of luck, Liu Ruyan found a way to restore her spirit root. She cultivated secretly every day, and finally achieved greatness. The first thing she did after becoming the sect leader of the Xiaoyao sect was to kill me. In my vision, Liu Ruyan stabbed me with her sword, blood splattering across her face as she laughed maniacally. Recalling this from my memories, I couldn't help but shiver. My current actions were no different from digging my own grave. Since Liu Ruyan is the heroine, she will eventually reach glory. Making an enemy of her is definitely a sign that I have a death wish. Thinking of this, I forcibly swallowed the harsh words that were about to leave my mouth. My brain spun rapidly, thinking about how I should remedy the situation. The onlookers looked at me in confusion. Liu Ruyan spoke, her tone still as cold as frost. Ji Chen, if you want revenge, just come. I am not afraid of you. I looked at her stubborn eyes, and like a ghost possessed, I squeezed out a sentence. Liu Ruyan, even though you hurt my heart, it wasn't until you were about to leave the Xiaoyao sect that I realized my feelings for you haven't changed. A burst of exclamations erupted around us. Let alone them. Even I was shocked by my quick wit. How could I say such shameless words? But on second thought, I might as well go all out. Being a devoted fool is better than being a corpse. So, I hardened my heart, ignored the whispers around me, and said righteously, our Xiaoyao sect values brotherhood and loyalty the most. Liu Ruyan was once our eldest senior sister after all. Is this how you treat a fellow disciple? I am usually friendly and generous, so I know almost everyone in the sect, and I have some influence. Seeing that I made it clear I wanted to protect Liu Ruyan, they all stopped talking. At this moment, Liu Ruyan laughed, her eyes full of suspicion. You say you like me? I usually don't hold grudges, except regarding Liu Ruyan. In the past few years, if she offended anyone, I would know immediately and spread rumors with added embellishments. Gradually, everyone kept their distance from her. She didn't care, and devoted herself to cultivation. I estimated that her heart was as clear as a mirror, probably suspecting that I was faking kindness to humiliate her fiercely later. I couldn't let the heroine misunderstand me like this. So, without further explanation, I grabbed her hand and stuffed the box containing the life-saving pill into her palm. Using the gentlest tone of my life, I said to her, "Lu Ruyan. The one I like has always been you. From now on, you have me. I won't let anyone bully you. There are ways to cure your broken spirit root and your injured face. I will definitely cure you. Trust me." I secretly marveled at my acting skills. They were flawless. This excuse was seamless. Once the plot is over, I will part ways with her on good terms, live in seclusion, and spend the rest of my life happily. Just thinking about it makes me happy. Liu Ruyan didn't speak, lowering her eyes in thought. I took a step forward and said to her, "I know you don't want to leave the Xiaoyao sect. Come to my place, there is a room for you to sleep." Liu Ruyan took the pill. Her spirit root showed no signs of recovery, but her internal injuries looked better than before. I encouraged her not to give up. She nodded, the guard in her eyes fading a little. Sometimes she would look in the mirror, touching the scar on her face and sighing. She said this scar was caused by a claw swipe from a beast in the secret realm when she was blinded by miasma and momentarily careless. It was this scar that turned the fairy of the Xiaoyao sect into a silent woman everyone loathed. After carefully examining her wound, I told her, "It looks scary, but the injury isn't deep. I am confident I can restore you to your original state." I began to consult various medical books and mix formulas to treat her face. At first, when I applied the medicine, she gestured to do it herself. Later, under my insistence, she let me do it. Every time it was time for medicine, she would appear in my medicine hut on time, sitting obediently at the desk waiting for me. The process wasn't long, but not short either. I told her some interesting anecdotes from the sect. She didn't respond much, but her eyes were full of smiles. Days passed, and unknowingly, we became accustomed to each other's existence. We became more and more in sync. Often, just a look was enough to understand what the other wanted. Until the day Junior Marshal Uncle Ye Haoran returned. He is Liu Ruyan's unrequited true love, her unattainable white moonlight ideal love. That day, she seemed exceptionally silent. When applying medicine, she was clearly distracted. Even after I finished applying it, she still tilted her face slightly without moving. Usually she would softly apologize or even help me wipe the sweat from my forehead. But today, she just stared at the moon outside the window in a daze. I suddenly realized, Ye Haoran is Liu Ruyan's destined partner in the book. No wonder Liu Ruyan was so lost in thought. I sighed and said to her, "Since you can't let go, why not go and have a look?" She was stunned, quickly understanding what I implied, but smiled and shook her head. With the way I look now, I am not fit to see people. So even the strong heroine gets timid in front of her sweetheart. I thought for a moment, put my hand on her shoulder, and said firmly, "Liu Ruyan, you must pull yourself together. One day, you will become the pride of the entire Xiaoyao sect. By then, not to mention Ye Haoran, everyone will look up to you." Liu Ruyan raised her eyes abruptly, her gaze obscure and lingering. She asked me with an unclear meaning, "Does everyone include you?" I was slightly startled, then smiled. "Of course. When you rise to prominence, remember who saved you." She nodded, a hint of a smile in her eyes. I thought of something else, so I added, "I have been observing your spirit root these past few days. It seems that taking medicine alone is not enough to recover. You need to practice cultivation to make it grow slowly. There is a dense forest behind this medicine hut. Go there. No one will disturb you. I arranged this for a reason." According to the plot in the book, Liu Ruyan realized the Tao during cultivation. Her power improved by leaps and bounds, and her spirit root gradually recovered. She became a legend in the Xiaoyao sect, and finally ended up with Ye Haoran. Now, I am just a stepping stone on her way to the peak. Liu Ruyan listened seriously and agreed solemnly. I knew she had never given up for a moment. To avoid trouble later, I thoughtfully said, "Don't worry, I definitely won't disturb you and Ye Haoran. When the time comes, if he misunderstands anything, I will definitely explain it to him face to face." Unexpectedly, Liu Ruyan's face changed. She frowned and said, "Ji Chen. I don't need that." "Need what?" I couldn't figure it out. She didn't have the mood to continue talking either. A few days later, Liu Ruyan's face had recovered 80%. She began to go to the dense forest to cultivate, leaving early and returning late. She was like this before. Even with extraordinary talent, she never missed a single cultivation session. A month later, her face had completely recovered. However, while cultivating, she was discovered and reported to the sect leader, accused of secretly practicing demonic arts, losing her mind, and almost killing someone. When I found out, the sect leader had already ordered her imprisonment. Actually, she wasn't practicing demonic arts. She was likely disturbed by someone and suffered a chi deviation. That person probably had a grudge against her from before and deliberately exaggerated the facts. Liu Ruyan never liked to explain herself, which made everyone believe it even more. I could have gone to the sect leader as a witness immediately, but I was waiting. To make her remember my kindness, I couldn't rely on verbal promises, but on practical actions. Half a month later, she was brought to the Great Hall. As soon as I walked to the entrance of the hall, I heard the sect leader asking the disciples how to deal with her. A cultivator suggested, "This woman's spirit root is destroyed, yet she can recover in just over a month practicing demon magic. I'm afraid she is already possessed by demonic chi. This woman must not be kept. It's better to throw her into the pill furnace to be refined, eliminating future trouble forever." I recognized that cultivator. He used to gamble down the mountain and was caught by Liu Ruyan. She had him beaten 50 times and confiscated all his gambling funds. Now he finally found a chance. He certainly wouldn't let it go. For a moment, the hall was full of discussion. This woman has an impure heart. Killing her counts as removing a harm for the vast sects. I agree. If this woman learns demon magic, the 4 seas and 8 wildernesses will never be at peace. Liu Ruyan knelt in the center of the hall, not saying a word from beginning to end. The sect leader sighed from his high seat and asked in a deep voice, "Liu Ruyan, do you admit your guilt?" Liu Ruyan kowtowed heavily, then replied, "Disciple only cultivated to restore mana. I do not know what wrong I have done." A cultivator pointed at her indignantly. "You should have been expelled from the Xiaoyao sect long ago. If not for the sect leader's kindness, you wouldn't still be here. Now you are shameless enough to want the sect leader to recognize you as a disciple. You say you were restoring mana, but we all saw it that day. You were shrouded in black energy, your eyes blood red. Clearly, it was a sign of entering the demonic path." Seeing the crowd getting angry again, the sect leader shouted for silence while waving his hand. A powerful blast of energy struck Liu Ruyan. She was defenseless. Her body flew high and landed heavily, paralyzed on the ground without vitality. The sect leader said thoughtfully, "There is indeed demonic chi." My heart skipped a beat, and I suddenly understood. The culprit who made Liu Ruyan a cripple was him. There was clearly no demonic chi in Liu Ruyan's body. Yet he blatantly twisted the truth. Just because he is the sect leader, his word is law. "Men, throw Liu Ruyan into the pill furnace." Seeing that it had reached the most critical moment, I walked into the hall and shouted, "Wait!" Someone mocked me. "Ji Chen, are you still coming to be a sycophant at a time like this? Just because you are close to the witch doesn't mean you won't get into trouble yourself. You come from a noble family after all. Aren't you afraid your family's reputation will be ruined by you?" I ignored these voices and said to the sect leader, whose expression changed slightly, "Sect leader, I can testify. Liu Ruyan never practiced demon magic. The accident a while ago was only because she was disturbed and suffered a key deviation. Ji Chen, do you take us for blind? More than one person saw Liu Ruyan's appearance at that time. You can't just say she wasn't." I smiled, took out an ancient book from my chest, turned to a page, and read it aloud. After reading, I said, "This is the cultivation method. May I ask the senior and junior brothers, is it exactly the same as what you saw that day?" Those who were clamoring just now instantly fell silent. Even so, one of them interrupted, "Xiaoyao sect, who doesn't know you like Liu Ruyan? You two mix in your medicine hut every day. The whole sect knows. Can you guarantee you are not deliberately shielding her?" Before I could speak, Liu Ruyan, who was paralyzed on the ground, gritted her teeth and spoke, "Nonsense." She struggled to stand up and fight desperately. I hurriedly supported her and looked around, saying slowly, "I guarantee with the Ji family's reputation. If there is half a word of lie, let my Ji family fall into endless destitution. I, Ji Chen, am protecting this person." When I brought out the Ji family behind me, even the look the sect leader gave me carried scrutiny and deliberation, let alone the others. And by risking the Ji family's reputation to save her, I must have left a deep mark in her heart. I was the one who, when everyone retreated, fought to stand by her side. She is not a cold-hearted person. She will definitely be moved. What I want is this touch of emotion. After saying these words, I picked up Lu Ruyan and walked out of the hall. Someone shouted behind me, Ji Chen, if you dare to step out of here today, you and this witch will no longer be members of the Xiaoyao sect. Without pausing at all, I lifted my foot and left. We couldn't stay in the Xiaoyao sect anymore. I took Lu Ruyan to my small medicine hut outside. The palm strike from the sect leader had been devastating. Lu Ruyan's body was already weak, and now she was dying. 3 days passed, and she still hadn't woken up. I guarded her bedside without sleep or rest. This is the heroine. The fate of the second half of my life lies in her hands. At night, I really couldn't hold on anymore, and fell asleep lying on her bedside with my eyes closed. After a while, I seemed to hear her murmuring, but I was too tired to open my eyes. Immediately after, a warm hand gently stroked my face. It was Lu Ruyan's hand. I was fully awake, but I didn't dare to move. This action was too intimate. A moment later, she laughed softly. You look exhausted. I kept my eyes closed. The sound of rustling friction came to my ears. She got up carefully and went out, but soon returned, holding a blanket to cover me. During the process, her breath sprayed softly on my neck. I used all my strength to keep my breathing steady so she wouldn't notice. To make it more convincing, I feigned delirium and muttered some sleep-talking. Lu Ruyan, you must repay me well in the future. She actually laughed and responded solemnly. In the future, I will protect you. This sounded a bit strange. However, the next moment, I felt a warm touch land on my lips. Very light, very soft, touching and leaving immediately. In the distance where breathing could be heard, I heard Lu Ruyan say, Ji Chen, wait for me a little longer, okay. When I am strong enough, I will protect you for a lifetime. Lu Ruyan went back to bed gently. Only after determining she was asleep did I open my eyes abruptly, walk out of the room, and pace back and forth in the yard. Why is this different from the plot? Was Lu Ruyan confessing to me? That's not right. She should like Ye Haoran. He is the male lead. He is her official match. If she likes me, am I disrupting the plot? Can the stability of the second half of my life still be guaranteed? Thinking of this, I almost cried out. Fortunately, I held back. The next morning, when I pushed open the door, I ran into Lu Ruyan coming out of her room. She had returned to her usual cold appearance, nodding slightly at me, as if everything that happened last night was my dream. While I was dazed, she hooked the corners of her lips and said to me, Ji Chen, thank you for this time. For the next period, I am going to a place to cultivate. I may not be back for a long time. Hearing this, I felt slightly more settled. In the plot, Lu Ruyan made great progress during bitter cultivation. Now that she still wanted to cultivate, it showed she hadn't forgotten her original intention. I responded. Before leaving, she paused, turned around, and said to me, take good care of yourself. And wait for me. Lu Ruyan is indeed the unconquerable heroine. Several months passed, and she regained her name in the martial arts world. Even I, who had been hiding in the medicine hut amusing myself for a long time, could hear many rumors about her every time I went down the mountain to the market. In the tea house, I sipped tea while listening to people around me talk about her. Lu Ruyan declared to the public that the Ji family's business was her business. Whenever this happened, I felt a little proud. If I hadn't made a prompt decision, how could I have today? In their mouths, I, Ji Chen, had an eye for talent and valued friendship deeply, willing to be expelled from the sect to prove Lu Ruyan's innocence. After drinking a pot of tea, I walked out slowly and bumped into someone. Ji Chen, long time no see. I looked closely. It turned out to be an old acquaintance from the Xiaoyao sect. This person was extremely gossipy. Sure enough, he immediately leaned in and asked quietly, Are you waiting for the eldest senior sister? He smiled ambiguously. How could I not understand? I waved my hand with a serious face and said to him, What are you thinking? I haven't seen her for a long time. Lu Ruyan kept her word. She said she wouldn't come back. And she really hadn't. This is good because according to the plot development, Ye Haoran is coming back soon. The acquaintance felt bored and lost interest in chatting with me, waving goodbye hurriedly. I walked back. From a distance, I saw smoke rising from the chimney of the medicine hut. Pushing open the door and walking to the kitchen, Lu Ruyan was busy with her back to me. Hearing my footsteps, she turned her head and smiled beautifully at me. We can eat soon. I was shocked. The genius girl, Lu Ruyan, was actually cooking for me. At the dinner table, she deliberated and spoke. Ji Chen, the sect leader has already passed the position to me. My succession ceremony is in 3 days. Do you want to come? So fast. Once Lu Ruyan becomes the sect leader, Ye Haoran will also return. The two will finally have the opportunity to express their feelings and get married. My role is about to end. Now the only thing to do is to leave gracefully and fulfill her and Ye Haoran. Under her faintly expectant gaze, I nodded. Lu Ruyan's eyes lit up. She repeatedly urged me. You must come on time, I saved a seat for you. Also, she bit her lower lip, hesitated to speak, and raised her eyes slightly. I have a very important thing to announce. My breath hitched. The memory of her light laugh in my ear, and that kiss flashed through my mind. My cheeks felt a little hot. You must come. Her expression was extremely serious. I lifted the corner of my lips and said, Okay, I will definitely come. My plot is ending almost. Let me make the last meeting between her and me a little better. After eating, she left with light steps. Wait until her back completely disappeared from my sight. The smile I maintained all night finally dropped. Walking to the fence, I whistled. A guard hidden in the dark, a connection to my family I rarely use, appeared and bowed to me. Burn this medicine hut later. Has Ye Haoran been notified? The guard replied. I have already told him to return to the Xiaoyao sect in 3 days. He said thank you for your fulfillment. He will definitely seize the opportunity. No one else knows, only I, who have the god's perspective, know that Ye Haoran has long liked Liu Ruyan. It was just because he thought Liu Ruyan was only focused on cultivation and didn't want to disturb her, so he delayed saying it. Having experienced so many things, Liu Ruyan even almost died. I believe he will no longer hide his love. In the blazing fire, I took one last look at the medicine hut. Liu Ruyan, this time I'm going to break my promise. At the succession ceremony, the Xiaoyao sect was solemn and respectful. All disciples gathered, and even those who were outside all year round hurried back. Other major sects also sent representatives to attend. They all marveled at Liu Ruyan's achievements at such a young age, even bluntly stating that she might become the most dazzling star in the cultivation world in the future. Liu Ruyan, dressed in the sect leader's robes, stepped up the stairs one by one. Wherever she went, the disciples knelt and bowed piously, shouting, Sect leader. Liu Ruyan sneered in her heart. These petty people are not worth pitying. Why hasn't the person in her heart appeared yet? Clearly, he promised he would come to stand by her side. He achieved everything he said before. Today is the day she returns to the peak. And also the moment she invites him to stand side by side. But until she walked into the great hall and sat on the sect leader's exclusive seat, the special seat in the lower left corner in her peripheral vision remained empty. Her fingernails unconsciously sank into her flesh. Liu Ruyan felt panicked for no reason. Just then, a figure appeared in the distance. Before coming close, he shouted loudly, I am late. As soon as the voice fell, accompanied by the man's shout, he walked quickly into the great hall. Dressed in light blue Taoist robes, his hair tied up neatly. Handsome and spirited, he tilted his head slightly and smiled gently at Liu Ruyan. I'm back, sect leader. Ye Haoran, junior martial uncle, Liu Ruyan's sweetheart. Although the two never stated it clearly, rumors about them had long been flying all over the Xiaoyao sect. The discussion below was not quiet. Some of it reached Liu Ruyan's ears, but she couldn't hear a word. She just stared blankly at Ye Haoran. She was very sure that she had never contacted Ye Haoran before this and could not determine his location at all, but Ye Haoran came back on time. On time. She had only told Ji Chen. The answer was self-evident. Ji Chen ran away. He didn't want her anymore. After the ceremony, she found a corner to breathe. Footsteps came from behind. Without looking back, she asked flatly, Did he tell you? Ye Haoran stopped behind her, his expression meaningful. He could see that Liu Ruyan was surprised by his return, but not happy. So he spoke, He found me. He told me that the one you liked has always been me, being a man. I came back to make things clear. I want to say, Liu Ruyan suddenly turned around and interrupted. Forget it, junior martial uncle. It's all in the past. Ye Haoran was stunned, then laughed bitterly. He left a letter and asked me to bring it to you. Liu Ruyan's hands trembled as she took it and opened it. A few short lines, written crookedly, in Ji Chen's usual style. Liu Ruyan. Seeing this letter means peace. When you see this, I have already left. Don't look for me. Be a good sect leader. I just don't like living like this, so I slipped away. In the future, I will definitely not expect gratitude for my kindness. From now on, we go our separate ways. I wish you all the best. Just remember that I once saved you. Ye Haoran had left at some point. Liu Ruyan looked at those few short lines, and tears rolled down without warning. It turned out Ji Chen had been lying to her all along. The future he wanted never included her. It turned out she finally got everything she wanted, but lost the person in her heart. She originally planned to confess her feelings to him under everyone's witness, hoping he could become the person to accompany her for life. Unexpectedly, he had seen through it long ago. He even helped her find Heroine. How considerate. Considerate enough to make one's heart cold. Suddenly, she tore the letter into pieces and squeezed a sentence out from between her teeth. Ji-chen, you can run, but can't I chase? In a small town, I lay on the back of a donkey, eyes half squinted. For no reason, the news the guard reported to me this morning came to mind. Lu Ruyan has been in charge of the Xiaoyao sect for half a year. The sect is thriving. However, she and Ye Haoran have made no progress. Yi Haoran even started wandering again after a brief stay in the sect, disappearing without a trace. Moreover, Liu Ruyan publicly stated that she and Ye Haoran only had mentorship, friendship, absolutely nothing else. She strictly ordered the entire Xiaoyao sect not to spread rumors anymore. I felt strange. Clearly, with my help, the male and female leads had every opportunity to confess their feelings. Why did it end up like this? But on second thought, this is not up to me. I did what I should do, and I have a clear conscience. Since leaving, I also started my days of traveling the martial arts world. To avoid trouble, I never revealed my real name, and frequently changed places to practice medicine and help the world. I also saw a lot of the warmth and coldness of human nature. The folk customs of this small town are simple and honest, and the scenery is pleasant. I rarely stayed for a few more days. The little donkey stopped. I knew we had arrived. I stretched and jumped down neatly. Several familiar musicians and dancers immediately came forward and greeted me enthusiastically. Surrounded by them, I boarded the flower boat. This counts as one of my pastimes, listening to songs, drinking wine, and reciting poetry. On the boat, they played a Jiangnan tune for me and danced with the music. Happy, I awarded them some silver money. The room full of people laughed delicately. At this time, a bold musician came forward, holding a pot of wine to curry favor with me. My lord, this is the finest daughter's red wine, dug up just today. Would you like to taste it? I never had a hobby of drinking and merrymaking, so I frowned, and was about to drive her away. Unexpectedly, the musician pouted and said aggrievedly, "The boss said if I fail to please the guests this time, he will sell me off." My lord, I know you are kind-hearted, please help me, okay? The girl in front of me was still very young. I couldn't bear to see her sold to some wretched establishment, so I nodded. She beamed with joy, filled a cup of wine, and leaned close to me. I drank it from her hand. Just at this moment, a noise suddenly came from outside the door. A familiar voice sounded, "Ji Chen, you really have elegant interests." Lu Ruyan stood at the porch, expressionless, but those eyes flashed with anger. I rubbed my eyes to make sure I wasn't seeing things. Not seeing her for a year, Lu Ruyan seemed even better looking than in my impression. She looked around the room, frowning slightly, and asked me with interest, "Are you surprised to see me?" I didn't know how to answer, so I could only smile awkwardly. Others knew she was an unwelcome guest, so when she waved her hand, they all left the room quickly. Only the two of us were left on the boat. She found a table next to me, sat down naturally, and began to drink without saying a word. The air was filled with awkward silence. What is this about? I rolled my eyes, feeling that this place should not be stayed in for long. So I got up quickly, used palm wind to open the window, and was about to dive into the water. Unexpectedly, although Lu Ruyan was drinking and looking straight ahead, she was faster than me. In a flash, she grabbed my belt, seemingly light as clouds and gentle as wind, but in reality, I couldn't escape at all. I smiled ingratiatingly at her. "What is eldest senior sister doing?" She took a deep breath, as if she didn't want to act with me anymore, and asked me directly, "Ji Chen, how long do you plan to hide from me? Are you that afraid of me? Where is eldest senior sister getting this from? Who would I hide from if not you?" "I mean, I wouldn't hide from you. You're lying. Last month I just arrived at the inn you were at, and you left immediately. The month before last I found the thatched cottage you lived in, only to find you had just left. Even the bed was still warm. The month before that, Lu Ruyan," I interrupted her in embarrassment. She stared straight at me. "Do you want me to say more?" I was speechless. I didn't know how to face her. What could I tell her? I couldn't say, "Sorry. I'm just a supporting male character. You are the heroine, we have no chance, right? I looked for you just to ask you clearly face to face. Why exactly did you run?" Her tone contained deep frustration. I put away my playful smile and replied to her seriously for a rare moment. "The reason is simple. You and I are not from the same world. The lives we want are different. I like being a free spirit, while you are destined to attract the attention of 10,000 people. Our paths are different. We cannot plan together. I can also be a free spirit. Why don't you believe me? She was emotional. I smiled. But then that wouldn't be you. If you give up the responsibilities on your shoulders to accompany me, are you still Lu Ruian? And if I live a life of strict rules for you, I won't be Ji Chen either. Speaking of this, I suddenly understood why she is the heroine, and I am the male supporting character. Although I awakened and am no longer vicious, I will ultimately not be on the same road as her. Lu Ruian, be a good sect leader. Don't look for me anymore. While she was stunned, I broke free from her control. She blinked, seeming not to believe it. You talk to me about different paths now. But when you stood in front of me and fought against the entire Xiaoyao sect for me, I couldn't let go of you for the rest of my life. Liu Ruian, you can't let go now, just because you didn't get me. Really, if I go back with you, within half a month we will part on bad terms. Do you believe it? She pursed her lips and said nothing. I guessed no result would come from talking today. So, taking advantage of her moment of hesitation, I climbed out the window and flew away. I found my donkey grazing by the shore, vaulted onto its back, and fled rapidly. From a long distance away, I could still hear Lu Ruian shouting through gritted teeth. Ji Chen, even if you escape to the ends of the earth, I will find you. I sighed to the sky and shouted back. If you can, then come find me. If you find me after you retire, I'll take you to live a quiet life farming. She seemed to see hope, and shouted happily. Fine, it's a deal. The weather was clear, and the breeze was blowing gently. I suddenly felt that if Lu Ruian could really farm with me when she gets old, it wouldn't be bad. Who can say for sure about the future?